What's up, everybody? This is TNL, The Natural Law, and if you don't know by now, I'm a producer from New Jersey, and I want to make some beats. No, but really, I'm making these videos because some of my favorite content to consume, it's watching other producers, artists, creators in their natural element, making something from scratch. I love to see everybody's process. I love to see how everybody goes about doing what they do. Nobody does it like anybody else. You might start imitating, which is fine because that's how you learn to do things, technical things, ergonomic things, but eventually the path to success, in my opinion, is to just do exactly what you want to do that is 100% true to you. So that's really what this channel, that's what I'm really trying to be all about and profess every time I make a video, every time I make a post, every time I do a video beat breakdown or something like that. I love music. I've been playing music since I was 6 or 7 years old. I'm 37 now. I left my job a year and a half ago just to do this, and it's been going great. I'm having a blast. I'm doing something that's very fulfilling every day. I get to call my own shots. So I feel like that's just me in a nutshell. You know, I want to help people because I know what it's like to be lost as a producer, as an artist, and not know what the hell to do. And I listened to everybody for a long time except myself. So that's really what I'm here to profess. Listen to yourself. Go with your gut. Do what you like because nobody's going to do it like you. And that's going to yield the best results, in my opinion, because every time I go back to the simple stuff, every time I go back to doing what I like and not listening to what people say, you should do something like this, you should do something like that. I just make music that I want to based on how I'm feeling at that time. And I have fun doing it, and I have fun experimenting, trying stuff, developing new sounds, meeting new people to collaborate with. So speaking of that, if you want to know how I do something, if I didn't explain something that I was doing enough in a video, if you want to know more, send me a message, leave a comment. I love interacting with people. Some dude messaged me from Germany the other day asking me how I make guitar samples. I was like, well, I will show you. Linked him to my YouTube, listened to a few of his samples, gave him some feedback, and he was really appreciative, and that's what it's all about. I think we should all be here to try to add value to the community and really help each other out because we were all lost at some point. So without further ado, I want to get into this beat. One of my favorites that I've made in a while. It's called Because of You. It's a classic approach to a beat. I got a Lynn sample queued up, so I'll show you how I chopped it up, how I sequenced it, and how I did my post-production. Let's do it. Alright, so that's the general gist of the song. That's how it goes at its original pitch. And all I did really was pitch it up a little bit, put some EQ and whatnot on it. I really don't do too much in Maschine yet because I like to manipulate a lot more later in Logic. So for right now, I got an intro, I got a verse, got like a little bridge, another verse, and then basically like the outro. So I like to think of my beats as songs. I usually think of them in like a really simple song structure because I think that gives more, it translates more clarity to the artist, but it doesn't cloud the room that should be reserved for them on the track. So I picked parts of the beat to sample and chop up and reconstruct in a way where it felt like, okay, this is the verse. Or sometimes a verse and a hook can be one and the same. I kind of feel like that's the thing here, because you can either sing a hook over this part or you could bust out a 16 or whatever. So let's check it out.
The sweet music of love we can no longer make, and it's just too much for my poor heart today. I thought I was dreaming, and pretty soon I would wake, but I know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me again. But I'm out of my mind.
So you see what I'm getting at there. That part is just, it's a loop-based part. There's the loop 4 times in a row. So the second time around, I just like to throw some extra little chops in there, little things that really get into people's subconscious. And when you go back and listen and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't hear that before. Oh man, that little part. Great. So the next part is basically a little bridge, and I think it's cool. It acts as a release because there's a lot of tension in that whole verse there. Actually, I'm going to play it out of the part right before it a little bit. All right, right back around. And I think it's really cool. I call this beat Because of You, and I kind of set that up for the artist to paint a picture of hopefully something that people will connect with, because that's the whole point of music, connecting with people, at least in my opinion. That's why I do this type of stuff. You know, that's why I'm going to try real hard to keep up these videos, because I want to connect with you guys. I want to meet other producers. I want to meet other artists. You know, I'm really approachable. I'm really chilled out. I'm in my sweatpants right now. My dog's chilling out right behind me. I'm in my studio, and you know, it's snowing outside, nice and toasty in here. So let me get to the next part of this whole thing, and I'm going to show you guys what I did in Logic. So here we are. Hi, traveled right from Maschine to Logic. Let me go over my initial thought process for this. So when I found the sample, I look for if a sample has either something that like strikes me specifically or like the overall feel of it. And I think once I found the chops that I wanted to use and I figured out how to use them, that dictated the feel of the song. So it has bass. You can hear the bass really well. You can hear the vocals. You can hear the drums crackling in the background with some nice reverb. There's a lot of strings, orchestral elements in there. So it's got everything for a classic hip-hop track and a classic chop. So let me show you what I did here. I like to use automation. I took the intro and I descended the tempo down all the way from about 82 down to 70. And then it jumps back up to 86, classic hip-hop tempo when the drums come in. So what's also cool is the melodic portion of this ascends to create tension right here, and then right before the drop, but the tempo is descending. So I think that's a really cool mixture. Check it out.
Sweet music of love, we can no longer make, and it's just a word for my poor heart today. I thought I was dreaming, and pretty soon I would wake. But I know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me again. But I'm out of my mind. Oh, out of my mind. Oh.
All right, so obviously the drums are different. In Maschine, I really just wanted to make the chops and do a lot of my manipulation later, add my drums later in Logic. Shout out to AJ Hall. His drum samples are top notch, so definitely check him out. Left field drum breaks. So I wanted something that accompanied and really complemented the sample well. So here, I'm going to play without it, and then I'm going to pop the drums back in so you can hear.
But I'm out of my mind.
it gives it so much life. And I feel like if this was going to be just like a pure loop-based beat with maybe a little bit more of a chilled feel, I could have probably left the drums out. But I feel like this had a sort of life that it needed, and the drums really propped it up and provided that great foundation. So the only thing I really did to this was, I did a little EQ on the sample, some corrective and additive EQ, just a little bit. Wanted to bring out some of those harmonics. I like this V76 preamp. Sounds great. And I added some filter with the Filter Freak. Shout out Sound Toys. Love them. Use those all the time. Use that for the beginning for the automation, and I think it sounds great. So for the drums, all I really did was pitch shift them, and I sent them to an aux channel because I wanted to add some space to the drums. They sounded awesome, but by themselves, they're tighter than they're nice and tight, and they still have a little bit of ambience, but I wanted to hear more room. I wanted to hear more like the type of sound that maybe the sample was recorded in, like a bigger room like that. So I sent it to Ocean Way Studios room plugin, and I just have it going through one of the mics, and I also have the sample going through that too. Check out the drums. Without. All right, I'd like to point one thing out. The refrain, I love the way the drums that I put over line up with the drums here, because you can really hear that crack and that sustain of the reverb on the snare, and together they sound so good. The whole sample is out of my mind. Oh, and then it finally gets to that point where it's like, because of you. That could be a setup for the artist for anything they want to talk about. So let's listen to it one more time from the top.
Sweet music of love, we can no longer make, and it's just a word for my poor heart today. I thought I was dreaming, and pretty soon I would wake. But I know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me. You know it's true that you'll never love me again. But I'm out of my mind. Oh, out of my mind. Oh, out of my mind.
I think the mix sounds great, and one thing that I did that helped it a lot was just literally throwing this plugin on. I threw the default setting on, and it was exactly what it needed. Brought out more harmonics, brought a better balance between the bass and the drums. I could feel the kick a lot more. It's punching through. It's not losing any substance. So when you're mixing, try subtle stuff. A great mix is a combination of, proper layering, good sound choice, and a lot of subtleties, a lot of subtle things. If you put a plugin on, just listen to what it sounds like. If you like the way it sounds, if it's balanced, if you enjoy it, as soon as you hit the on button, go to bypass, turn it back on. If it sounds better to you, keep it. Check this out. sounds so much warmer. It like actually makes the hair on your neck stand up. You know, at least to me, it's like it's got that life that you want. I always wondered what were the things that made a mix stand out, and it's like, oh, it's harmonics, it's good balance, it's good sound choice, it's so many things. And I think just be modest about what you do, but also don't be afraid to try a million things at the same time. You know, I'm not trying to confuse you, but I'm just saying anything's possible. Literally try anything. That's why music is so much fun. So, like I said, I appreciate if you've been here the whole time. I really hope you got something out of this. I'm going to make more videos like this and just share my process, share who I am as an artist, as a musician, as a producer, and please feel free to comment, give me feedback, let me know what you liked, what you don't like. You know, just know that my whole mission here is to be a reflection of somebody who's adding value to the music and producer community. So I really appreciate it. My name's TNL, The Natural Law, and see you later.